Hey, Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Philadelphia Eagles Now. We're going to jump into the latest Eagles news and rumors here on a Monday. Some juicy stuff for you guys here as we march towards training camp. First, though, we're marching towards a weekend mailbag later on this week. And so let's just get the questions in now. Let's get them flowing in on a Monday. Go down below, hashtag Eagles, and ask any sort of Eagle-related question. Must be a subscriber to get your question featured on our weekend mailbag. Plus, you guys always want shout-outs. This is the way to get, like, a shout-out without having to answer a trivia question. You just do a good question, be a subscriber, hashtag Eagles down below for a chance to go ahead and get that pulled. All right, it's Monday, latest Eagle news and rumors. We are 2 weeks away, essentially, here on July 18th from July 26th, if my math is correct. 2 weeks and some change. We're close to training camp starting, okay? Close. Don't sue me. Next week, and then the week after, and then you're officially getting into all the great, juicy training camp news and rumors we'll cover here on the channel. We start, though, with Jalen Hurts. And naturally, we talk about Jalen Hurts about 95% of the time on this channel because he's always in the spotlight, always in the news. And you guys remember, last week, he got criticized a little bit, attacked by Jacob Media and Derek Gunn, saying, he has sources inside the Eagles organization saying Hurts struggled in, a 10-play scripted 7-on-7 practice, and, they're not very confident in him, blah, 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 blah. Well, there's a new report coming out from one of Jalen Hurts' former coaches saying, essentially, that Hurts is going to be unfazed by this. Hurts is not someone who listens to the media or is concerned by what the media is saying, and I think that as a Hurts fan myself, and somebody, as you guys know, who wants Hurts to be successful this year, it's reassuring to read after a little bit of some shaky or rough waters last week with the Derek Gunn report. As mentioned, of course, Derek Gunn basically said, if you didn't see this last week, that Hurts struggled at OTAs, and the Eagles are still unsure if he's going to be a good quarterback this year, which, whatever, right? Move on from that. I think Hurts seems ready to really do battle in 2022 and ready for what is going to be a make-or-break-it year. So here's what a former Eagles coach, don't know who it is, but it was just Bill as a former Eagle coach, said about Jalen Hurts and all this recent report. Quote, that kid is not going to run away from any criticism inside or outside the building. He wants it. He wants input. Jalen is someone who won't jump off the ship if it's rocking a little bit, like another guy that they had there did. Wonder who that is. He likes being in the line of fire when the bullets are flying. If it were up to him, he'd have a cot in the NovaCare complex and stay overnight going over film. He's someone you want in your foxhole. That is good stuff. And I like the little jab there at most likely Carson Wentz from this former Eagles coach. And I just want to emphasize again, and this was brought up a lot when talking about Jalen Hurts, he's been here before. Like, he's literally been in the situation where he, could be the starter, but maybe he's not as good as the starter. You think back to the Alabama days when he was just a running quarterback, and and he had Tua behind him, and then the national championship fiasco and all that mess, going to Oklahoma, then coming to Philadelphia, being behind Carson Wentz, and then pushing Carson Wentz out of there, and then getting the start last year, but is he good enough to be the actual starter of the future? Like, oh my gosh, he's probably exhausted, yet it seems like, according to this report, he's unfazed. Like, he's like, okay, whatever, like, I'm going to, put in the more work and try to get better and try to be the best version of myself. I think we can at least rest assured that Hurts is going to give us the best version of himself in 2022. Now, is it good enough? I don't know. We're going to find out, right? We'll find out week 1, week 2, week 3, and each week since then, or after that, until, week 17, week 18, and hopefully into the playoffs. But if he's not ready, or if he struggles, then you're going to move on from him. And I've said that many, many times. If he stinks this year, he's gone. But if he plays well, and I think he's gearing up too, you can look back at reports like this where it shows his work ethic and his love of the game and his being unfazed by the media as one of the reasons why he might be due for a monster 2022 campaign. Okay, ad break, pin comments down below. Will Hurts sink or swim this year? What do you guys think? I would say 80% of Eagle fans think he's going to swim, right? And 20% think he's going to sink. A lot of haters on the outside for sure think he's going to sink. But I think it's 80-20 split in terms of love for Hurts versus hate for Hurts. But give me your thoughts down below. I think Hurts is going to sink or swim. Now, here's a fun story that I think is going to, fire up the fan bases. It's regarding the Dallas Cowboys. And I think the Dallas Cowboys should be scared of Philadelphia. And it's funny to see a story like the one I'm going to show you guys here, as I think it emphasizes that secretly Dallas is afraid of Philadelphia, yet in reality, they're not going to say that out loud. And no player, past or present, would be like, oh my gosh, yes, the Eagles are terrifying. They're going to be like, no, the Cowboys are going to be great this year. We're not afraid at all. And yet, when you look at it, they should be terrified of Philadelphia because Philadelphia is a much better team overall, at least I think, in 2022. So Drew Pearson, obviously former Dallas Cowboy, is he speaking for the current Cowboys? Probably not, but still very much entwined with that organization, was asked about Dallas versus Philadelphia this year, and here's the quote. We'll just throw it up on your screen. We should have a lot of confidence that we can dominate the NFC East. We're not that afraid of Philadelphia. Oh, really, Drew? You're not that afraid? Are you sure? Like, are you sure? Because where did Dallas improve this offseason? Tell me the big, off-season addition the Dallas Cowboys had, the big draft pick, right? The big free agent signing. Oh, wait. They, lost a bunch of players, and they traded away some players, and they cut some players, and they drafted, no one special in the NFL draft, at least, by my draft board, even though I technically could be wrong on that, because any rookie could actually turn out to be good. Dallas did not improve this season. They stayed the same or got a little bit worse, and you saw what they were this past year. They were better than any team in the NFC East, albeit the NFC East was trash last year. Much better than Philadelphia, will give you that, but Philadelphia's roster is light years different. It is way better, and I think vastly improved over what they were this past season, giving them a chance to go ahead and beat the Dallas Cowboys. Look at what the Cowboys did as their top 5 moves this offseason. Here are the top 5 things that happened to the Cowboys this year. They traded Amari Cooper, so they got worse at wide receiver. They cut La'el Collins because the offensive line continues to be not a disaster, but going in the wrong direction. They lost out on Randy Gregory, also Von Miller as well. They had a chance for Von Miller there. Re-signed Jaron Kearse, okay, great. And then they drafted Tyler Smith. Woo, very exciting stuff there. Wow. Talk about a groundbreaking signing there. I think Dallas is in for a wake-up call this year. They're not going to be trash. They won't be 6 or 7 wins. I think 8-8 or 8-9, whatever the new number is with the extra game added in there. I think Philadelphia wins both games. I'm trying to go to Eagles-Cowboys on October 16th, whatever that Sunday Night Football game was in Philadelphia. That's how confident I am. I'd spend my money on an Eagles game where I expect them to win. I would pick them to go ahead and beat Dallas. So, always fun to read stories like this. Both teams, obviously excited to see what can happen this year, but you're kidding yourself. You think the Cowboys roster, as it currently stands, top to bottom, is better than what Philadelphia has right now after what was a top 3 offseason of any football team in the entire NFL. Now, if you guys hate the Dallas Cowboys, which I know you guys do, and you guys agree with everything I just said there because we all hate the Dallas Cowboys, subscribe down below. Show me your Cowboy hate by hitting that red subscribe button. I know you guys appreciate when we beat up on Dallas. Hopefully they do that in reality this year against them on the actual football field. But subscribe down below to join our squad if you guys do hate the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, let's take a step back here. Just a fun little story as we get ready to wrap up the show today. Remember the A.J. Brown trade and how excited we were? Obviously, a great move, and we're all excited about what's happening with the Eagles wide receiver core. But when it comes to A.J. Brown, we kind of forget the fact that Philadelphia was trying for other wide receivers before A.J. Brown, and it's fun to look back on what could have been, which might have been an alternate reality where you didn't get A.J. Brown, and show you how grateful we are to actually have A.J. Brown. So Adam Kaplan, NFL insider, very connected with the Philadelphia Eagles, said this about the Eagles offseason regarding wide receivers. Quote, after Calvin Ridley, trade fell through, it was going to be Allen Robinson. They were in plenty good. We had heart, but the Rams blew him out of the water. I would not say that the Robinson deal was close, but they talked real money. They were never in it for Christian Kirk because, like every other team, when they heard what his agent thought he was getting, they were never in. The Eagles have had, every other team has done this, dozens of players in free agency of the years where they target a guy, they find out the guy wants what the guy wants, and the discussion. So Allen Robinson was a real target pre the Calvin Ridley trade, which was going to happen until Ridley, of course, got suspended. I think this shows that the Eagles came out on top. I mean, they would not have gotten A.J. Brown had they gotten Calvin Ridley or gotten Allen Robinson. I don't take this as, A.J. Brown is, the leftovers that you didn't want at the dinner table but ended up with. I think this shows that they wanted some cheaper options because a Ridley trade would not have cost you a first-round draft pick, and Robinson would have been obviously a free agent. But I think that they were able to realize that they could go get a much bigger fish in the NFL draft with a draft pick by trading away a draft pick for A.J. Brown. And in the end, they come out on top, and I think that is great news for all Eagle fans. And fun to kind of look back on what could have been. They hear about the stories that they were possibly talking about, but in the end, settling in on what's, I think, going to be a fantastic Pro Bowl receiver for Philadelphia this year. Okay, what's also fantastic is the t-shirts that are still on sale right now. I was looking on the website for some new Eagle gear, and these t-shirts were very tempting yesterday. Still 40% off. Jetsports.com/Eagles t-shirt is the link that you need down below in the description box. Pick up the 2-pack. That way you basically get 2 t-shirts for the price of 1. I mean, t-shirts aren't not cheap these days. Inflation's been, obviously, we'll deal with that. But I think you guys want to jump on the t-shirt 2-pack combo. Jetsports.com/Eagles t-shirt down below right now. Okay, let's end on a couple of fun little notes here. CBS Sports did a, top 30 NFL players over 30. Obviously Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers were high on that list. But Philadelphia had 3 players that made the list and players over 30. And albeit Philadelphia is a younger team than they've been in the past, they still have some older veterans who are balling out of their mind and make the top 30 over 30 list, so we'll just show them to you guys. Obviously, Darius Slay, the first one, 31 years old, number 25 on the list of the top 30 over 30. I think he's been a little bit disrespected this offseason, didn't make the top 10 cornerback list from ESPN a couple of weeks ago, but proof here that he still is a very good cornerback at the age of 31, and if he can keep that up through 32, Philadelphia's going to have a very dangerous cornerback duo in 2022. Lane Johnson, you forget he's getting up there. I mean, his draft was a long time ago. 32 years old, number 15 on the CBS Sports list. And again, rightfully so. Mailata and Johnson are the two best offensive line, are the best tackle duos in the NFL right now. You look up top to bottom, they are the best. But how young and great Mailata is and how steady Lane Johnson is. Needs to stay healthy this year, but rightfully makes the list. And finally, Jason Kelce, he's on the list. Number 14 in the top 30 over 30. The best center in the National Football League, or maybe the second best. I know there are people talking about Creed Humphrey. The Chiefs was really good last year, but Kelce is the guy. 34 years old, probably his last season, but hopefully he goes out on top. Drop a like for the veterans still balling out, though. It's fun to see these guys. I think, Brandon Graham, had he not been injured last year, would have made this list as well. But drop a like for top 30 over 30. The Eagles getting 3 players on the list. Okay, quickly, as we get closer to training camp, here are your important dates. We end on this. Obviously, they report on the 26th of July. There is no pre-rookie reporting. They all report at the same time. So I think like the Packers and the Raiders reported today. The rookies did. Philadelphia's going to report at one time on the 26th. Open practice, just one at the Link on August 7th. A lot of you guys up in Philadelphia enjoy going to those things. Then you have your first preseason game in Philadelphia, August 12th. That's Jets at Eagles. 2 more following that, which one will be with the Dolphins. And then, of course, the away opener, the Week 1 opener at Detroit on September 11th. Those are the 4 big dates you need to know as we get closer and closer to the start of training camp. So there you go. How excited are you guys for training camp? Scale of 1 to 100. I'm at like a 1,000, so I type 1,000 down below. If you guys are pumped for training camp, give me your scale down below right now, as we are all ready for real news and real stuff to be beginning, especially here, obviously, with us at Chat Sports and all of you guys out there as well. We'll end on this mailbag video happening later on this week. Hashtag Eagles in the comment section. Get your questions in now. Don't wait. Get your questions in. Be a subscriber. Hashtag Eagles. You guys know the drill. All right, for Philadelphia Eagles now, Thomas Mott signing off for the rest of your day.